All right, welcome back for the Star Trek Rewatch. I do this every Thursday. This week's episode is Plato's Stepchildren. Yeesh. All right, let's just get right into it from the Alan Asherman Star Trek Compendium. I will read some of the entry, give a little bit of commentary, give you my thoughts and feelings on the episode, then leave it open to you in the discussion section or the comment section to let me know what you think about it. All right, so here we go. The writer for this was Meyer Dolinsky. The director was David Alexander. Stardate 5784.0. Answering a distress call from the planet Platonius, Dr. McCoy beams down with Kirk and Spock to aid the stricken Platonian leader, Parman. Although Parman and his people have no resistance to physical disease, they are powerful telekinetics. So, yeah, objects start flying all over around the room because these people on this planet have developed extraordinarily powerful telekinetic abilities. After McCoy cures their leader, the Platonians attempt to persuade him to stay, rather forcefully. I mean, he really doesn't have an option. Okay, when he refuses, they enslave the landing party. The Platonians' dwarf jester Alexander. He here is played by, what's the actor's name? Michael Dunn. It says here that Michael Dunn appeared in The Wild Wild West from 1965 to 69 as Dr. Miguelito Loveless. I never watched it. I'm familiar with the Will Smith movie that was absolutely terrible from the 90s, but I never actually watched the television series, so maybe that's something to add to my watch list at some point. Yeah, and he appeared in a feature film, which was Ship of Fools from 1965. So, Alexander here, the court jester, befriends Kirk and attempts to help, but he's powerless to interfere because of his lack of telekinetic powers. Harmon forces Kirk, Spock, and McCoy to undergo humiliating experiences. Kirk at one time is I don't know if I could even do it. Should I attempt it? Slapping himself across the face. It's pretty insane. It's one of the most insane sequences from the series. Um, so he does that. There's a lot of like them being forced to move places against their will. There's one point where Kirk, probably the most cringeworthy sequence of the episode, is when Alexander is on Kirk's back and I guess he's pretending to be a horse and he's going nee, nee, and you're just like, what in the world am I watching? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Crew members Uhura and Nurse Chapel are brought down to the planet and are forced to enact charades with Kirk and Spock to amuse the Platonians. There is a song here where Spock sings. Evidently, Leonard Nimoy wrote this piece of music himself, which I don't know what the title of this song that he sings is, but I do know it was written by Nimoy himself, and in fact, he has a record album which is pretty terrible. And Leonard, the William Shatner released a album as well back in the '60s. So if you've never heard Leonard Nimoy singing the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins, or William Shatner singing Mr. Tambourine Man, Mr. Tambourine Man! It's pretty wild. Uh, Hilarity will ensue, but I don't really recommend listening to it because your ears are going to be screaming for mercy. All right, so yeah, we get past the crazy love sequence. I guess the forced kiss between Spock and Chapel is then followed up by one of the most famous kisses in television history, where Captain Kirk kisses Uhura against both of their wills. So evidently, Shatner was so worried that the censors were going to remove this kiss from television history that on all subsequent takes, when they reshot the scene multiple times, he crossed his eyes. So they were forced to use the take that ended up on, the show here. So yeah, there was a lot of fear at that time that people, especially in the southern demographic, would boycott the show. Which I don't really understand what the fear of it is, since they already knew that the television series was headed for cancellation by this point. But, whatever. Dr. McCoy determines that a chemical substance, chironide, is responsible for the powers of Parman and his followers. Actually, it's not McCoy. I thought it was Spock that was the one that thought it was in the food, that there was a food connection. So McCoy mixes up a concentrated batch of the substance, which he then injects into, Kirk and Spock. Alexander does not wish to accept the injection because he does not want to possess the same type of powers as his masters. Kirk and Spock take the dosage and develop the power, canceling out the effectiveness of Parman's deadly pranks. Our crew then leaves the planet Platonius, taking Alexander with them, who will then be dropped off at a nearby Federation outpost to begin a new life. Yeah, this one, it's kind of rough. Kind of rough. Let's see. Liam Sullivan played Parman in this episode, the leader of the Platonians, and then Barbara Babcock returns here. She is the female Platonian. Of course, this is a reoccurrence for her. She was in the episode A Taste of Armageddon way back in season 1. So here she is again playing a different character. Picture of McCoy and Spock once again from this episode, and one of their more friendly confrontations. I really, I don't know, man. This one's a hot mess. I mean, we do get to see Shatner and Nimoy just go full ham in this one, which is some of the most absurd acting we've seen throughout the course of the television series. Spock flamenco dancing, pretty wild. I don't know. This one is one that you may want to imbibe yourself with a few drinks before watching this one, and unintentional comedy ensues. That's all I got to say about it. We are winding down. There's not a whole lot of Star Trek left here as far as the original series is concerned. So let me know what you think about this crazy wackadoo episode below. And until next time, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.